Yo, how's it going? So, today's 5 minute ministry pro tips and inspiration. I just went in there and got some fish from the lady. I got the scale ticket and told a couple jokes. I talked with another fella in line. Me and him spoke English. The other people did not. I'm down here by the Mexican border. So, it was very difficult. And then the lady that checked us out. So I got some fish and corn on the cob and some Brussels sprouts. And I said, well, you're sure doing a good job. And the lady at the cashier spoke real good English. And she had a Stanley Cup. I said, yeah, my wife's got a Stanley Cup like that. I was able to get... What is that sound? So I was able to get, that was a spam caller, of course. I was able to get rapport with her talking about how the last flowers that I bought were in a Stanley Cup. And she said, oh, really? I was like, yeah, my wife loved it, or whatever like that. And now she's still got the cup and everything. And I talked with her about the possibility of expanding her side hustle to the holidays, doing flowers and stuff like that. So, by using them, for instance, and of course, where she's at, she's right here with all these truck drivers. And I was like, it wouldn't be that hard for you to just have some stuff, buy some bulk flowers, because you can get the bulk, put them in the Stanley Cups, and it's about $65. So if you just come down here to where everybody's taking this exit, there's a place where we all pull up, stop, and then we take off again to pull into the place. So here's all these truck drivers, you know what I mean? So any holiday season, Stanley Cup for the wife, full of flowers, $60, easy sale. So she's like, oh, wow, like that's a great idea or whatever like that. I was like, you can do it, I said, God empowers us to do our thing for each other. So even if it's just to encourage one another, it's something secular, like, making a little extra money selling some flowers, like what's happening right now. I said, even that really is a service to God. And she said that she had been concerned earlier with because like the food stamps are getting turned off or whatever, and she was thinking about extra money and stuff like that. And when I brought that idea up to her, I also explained to her, I said, you can do anything you want to do if you'll set your mind, if you'll set a goal and then count the steps back to where you're at, set a few milestones, you know what I mean? That way you can get to where you're going. And that interaction, that genuine interaction right there. So first it was you're doing a good job. And then I don't know if it's me noticing these things just with intellect. But I'm going to say it's the Holy Ghost, because I want to give him glory for all this. So tell some jokes, become a friend, whatever, and compliment to whatever degree. And then the more I sound like an idiot that just happens to have found something out, like, well, I'm an idiot, but I can tell that, XYZ is profitable to whatever degree, and then present that to them, especially the people doing the customer service. Even when it's just anybody at a cash register, if there's nobody in line behind you, you kind of got them over a barrel, where they, the line of work means that they're going to listen just a little bit, and that's all you need. It only takes a little faith. So when I left, I told that lady, I said, if you pray and ask God to show you, and just open the Bible and read it, just for a little bit. I said, just remember, no read, no feed. and let him guide you into whatever you need to do. If you're good with a little, he'll give you a lot, and you've got a lot of food around here, so I don't think you got to worry that much about the EBT card. I was like, how much of this stuff do they just throw away? And she's like, a lot. I was like, have you asked them if you could take the trash out? And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, you can take this leftover food home and feed, an animal. They just use it for chicken feed and have chickens and eggs and stuff. And she said, oh, I was thinking about that. That's a good idea too. So inadvertently, read the Bible led to, a family eating good eggs. And like, instead of throwing away food at the truck stop they don't sell, feed the chickens, eat the eggs, feed the kids. And eggs is like super nutritious. So, don't worry about the way you look or whatever else like that. The less, if I go in there and I start chapter and verse and, banging the table and being real official, I don't have any luck. Everybody thinks I'm either they don't like it, or they seem like, well, I can't get to that level, or they're like, who does he think he is? And it's just rejection. But if I go in there and I seem like an idiot, I'm just some dumbass truck driver, and my accent goes with that real well, and then I'm like, well, hey, I ain't that smart or whatever, but I know that 2 + 2 = 4 because I had these 2 chickens, and then they made fertilized eggs, and now I have 4 chickens because 2 of them hatched. So 2 and 2 is 4, but 2 and 2 could lead up to a whole flock of chickens if we're talking about raising chickens. So 2 + 2 could equal 100. And then they look at you like, I've never considered it that way. But if you walk up to somebody and say 2 + 2 is 100, you know what I mean, without any context or anything else like that, it's intriguing. You know what I mean? So let your witness have some intrigue, solve an actual problem for them, give God all the credit, and say, yeah, I learned that reading the Bible. Because encouraging them to read it for themselves, in that moment, that's between them and God, and He'll get the job done. You can count on that. You can count on that. As sure as the Lord lives, you can count on that. All right, Rock Hill, go get them.